Greetings, all. Last Outrider here again with what I think video. A lot of people have been guessing about what the new 40K is going to be and changes that are coming and whatnot. I had an interesting experience. I did a deep dive into my email and I found a very old email. We're talking about 20 plus years, where I discussed this exact question. Second Imperium. Long before Black Library wrote anything. My idea, and one that I've always been interested in ever since they released the first role-playing game for 40K, was the Primarch Project, is the Primarch Project. Imagine now, instead of Primaris Space Marines, we had Primaris Primarchs. Yes. Think about this for a second. And really, I think Games Workshop fucked themselves when nobody on their entire staff is able to think of this. Well, it's my idea now, guys. But for rebooting 40K, if you wanted to do something completely different and go in a completely different direction than what Rick Priestley had in mind, but still have it be 40K, I would have done what I did in one of my earliest 40K campaigns, and that is redo the Primarch program or the Primarch project. I always wondered about that. People say the Imperium fell, but I say the Imperium was never born. We never saw the Emperor's plan happen from the beginning. So imagine if it did. What would that mean? Let's say that instead of Belisarius Call releasing Space Marines 2.0, a very lazy writing and idea, in my opinion, he simply recreated the Primarch Project. 12 remade Primarchs. Now, you might think, well, that's boring. They're just going to pop out and, be copies of who they are now. No, they wouldn't. If we had the original Primarch Project go the way the Emperor would go, you would have had 12 Primarchs born, each a specialty in their own type of warfare, and then they would have been raised by, I'm assuming, the Custodes, right? No foster families, no concepts of human culture or planets or homeworlds or anything like that. Wipe all of that away in their personality development. And you would have 20, not 18, Primaris Primarchs raised by the Custodes with Custode conditioning to have absolute loyalty to the Imperium and the Emperor, and then turn them over to Space Marines to run Space Marine chapters or legions. Again, find a vault of old gene seed buried in the Imperial vaults and rebirth even the other traitor legions. This time to be run by a properly formed, created, and trained Primarch, which would be nothing like the beings we've been reading about in stories these days. That would have been a perfect tabula rasa for Games Workshop to completely take 40K into its own original direction. the second Imperium. 12 Primarchs reborn, raised the way they were supposed to be raised, the way they were originally planned to be raised by the Primarch, to become the absolute generals that they were supposed to, and go out and fight their demon and fallen otherkin. But this time you could do whatever you wanted to do with their personality. What would a Primaris Angon look like? Or Conrad Cruz? Or any of them, if they had been raised in the Imperial Palace? What would a Motorian look like? Or a Jagati Khan? And what would they be called? They wouldn't even have these names. They would be named according to the naming schemes of the Custodes, by their accomplishments. The only way you would even be able to identify them is by their physical characteristics and types of warfare that they specialized in. What would a Primaris Sanguinius look like raised by the Custodes? They would be completely different and original, and yet the same Primarchs, but better, because this is what the original plan of the Emperor was. That would have been brilliant. Then, with these 20 Primarchs now in charge of neo-legions, you can begin what now they're doing as the Indomitus Crusade, a retake of the Imperium. Not a re-envisioning of the Emperor's plan, but round 2 of the Emperor's plan, done right. This would have been a glorious beginning to Warhammer 40K, in my opinion. And it would be an entirely new IP for GW to develop any way they wanted, with completely new Primarch characters. You don't need to have, Primaris Space Marines or a Marine and a Marine or any of these other gimmicky bullshit lazy writing tactics that they came up with. This would have been simple, easy, brilliant, and instead of all of the insane writing and mental gymnastics necessary for Primaris, you'd simply just say, we followed the Primarch project. We just followed what the Emperor wrote. The Emperor wrote his plan in the Primarch project. We just followed it. We don't even need to create anything new other than the Primarchs themselves. But after that, it just runs their course. They grew up. They became adults. They were all masters of their warfare. They gave them back their legions, and round 2 of the Great Crusade. We will not only scour it from chaos, we will also scour it from all of the grim, dark nightmare of the old Imperium, which was never the real Imperium. It was always a failed idea from the beginning. This is the time to do it the right way around the first time, the way it was supposed to be. That was an idea that I came up with or was developing 20-something years ago. That's what I would like to have seen 40K develop into. But that's why it's an RPG. Imagination is limitless. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.